Hi, I'm Josh, and for those of you who don't know, this game is DayZ. It's a zombie game. The thing is, this is a game, although it's based on an old engine for the game Arma 2, it's very poorly optimized, and I don't have the youngest computer anymore, and since I'm running fraps with this, I'm playing on very low settings. I actually usually play on medium settings with very basic shadows and actual clouds, but right now I'm in a city, and running fraps in a city with medium settings is something my computer cannot handle, especially in the summertime when the weather is high. We do not have the money for proper aircon. We also live in a country where it's not too practical. So excuse the piss poor resolution. I am a average player of this game. I have been in a few firefights, and I can safely say I've won just about half of them. The trick is, if you get the drop on your opponent, you basically win. But that's just the fun of it. This is not a game about gunfights. This is a game about sneaking and surviving the zombie apocalypse. Now, I felt like I was in a talkative mood. I sometimes get a bit, well, moody, whatever mood it might be. And I decide to talk to myself. I thought might as well put a camera on it and do some fun stuff in the meanwhile. There's a few things you should know about DayZ, but I don't intend for this to be mostly a tutorial. I have a crowbar now, which is absolutely trash. I have a press vest, which has a few slots for inventory space in it. You need to eat, you need to drink, you need to stay warm, and you need to stay well fed. I think that was one of those glitched out, oh, bell peppers, cool. The problem with this game right now is it's in development, which means that every single part of it is horribly defective, and we are going through patches at a 1 per month rate, basically, and things keep changing. And here's the thing, they're still adding new features, so every time they add one new feature, 2 new features break. Well, 2 of the other features, they break. So it's completely reasonable that the, what's that noise? Whatever. It's completely reasonable that they don't actually start fixing bugs until they're satisfied with the amount of features that are in this game. Well, we have 1 ground vehicle right now. They want to add flying vehicles and sea vehicles and all sorts of other stuff as well, like farming in a more advanced way. They've added some basic farming, and also more advanced ways of keeping your stuff safe in tents. There are some basic iterations of both, but they don't work too well yet. So once everything's in place, then it's time for the beta, where they start fixing stuff. Right now this is like a really rough sketch, and which is very broken, so you have to know what you're getting into if you buy this game. But you do get something for it. A very authentic seeming game. The difference between authentic and realistic, by the way. Authenticity feels real. Realistic as it is real. Yeah, this game is very authentic seeming, which is very nice. And stealth is a very big deal. At least depending on the way you play. You can play in a like suicidal rush kind of way, which can get you pretty far. And running at full tilt also is a big part of getting around. But you do still need to eat, you do still need to drink, and sometimes it's just better to be nice and slow. Okay, this server is relatively empty. There's not very many people on here. I just want to talk and think, really, about all sorts of stuff. I was basically spent most of the afternoon distracted by the whole the backle. I only stumbled upon this like recently about EVE Online, and there was this real big deal about some big-time player bullying somebody else, and that really caught me right in the heart muscles, because you know, bullying is it's omnipresent, but the sheer amount of sadism and viciousness, that's the word I was looking for, portrayed by this Mitani person is horrific. And the fun part is, the real fun part, is that the developers of that game laughed right along with them. And now, 1 year later, they have the balls to say, oh yeah, if you have suicidal tendencies, we support you. You're not alone. Well, a year ago, they only banned this guy for a month for giving an out-and-out PowerPoint presentation on some innocent little dweeb who wanted his mercy. He literally begged him, which is, of course, pathetic, but to put it on a PowerPoint and literally do a nasal impression of his voice, well, this guy himself is a very scrawny little jackass, obviously. It's pathetic. It's pathetic on a level which is way beyond the person he bullied. Okay, this is a bayonet, which is interesting. I'm gonna keep it. You can't really bayonet people with a bayonet yet, but it looks cool and it's pristine, so I'm just gonna keep it. I'm not too thirsty yet, so I'm just gonna snatch this cola and put it into my jacket. My point was, I was very upset with the idea that CCP, the developers of this E1 game, could be so hypocritical, so I looked more into, you know, internet mob mentality and bullying and that kind of thing, and hatred. How easy it is to hate people who are faceless, and when you yourself are anonymous. Yeah. I just think it spells doom for just about everything. And that's way too political for me. I got it out of my system. I theorized a bit about it. I think anonymity is a real problem here. I think we're going to have at some point an internet which loses the veil of anonymity. Privacy's fine. Privacy is absolutely fine. But that's not the same thing. Ooh, this is interesting. There's a heat back, which I'm gonna... Now, this is gonna take some splaining. I've taken this rider's jacket because it enhances my camouflage. This raincoat, however, helps me stay dry in the rain. I'm also probably gonna take a swim over to the prison island in a bit. Now, the prison island is an interesting place because it holds a lot of good guns. And well, the problem is, when you go swimming, you get very wet, which in turn means you cool down very quickly. So having a heat pack would make absolutely a lot of sense. Now I think, oh, is this thing full? This is a first aid set. No, it's not full, but you can't put the heat pack in the first aid kit, which is a bit strange. I also have an empty bottle, batteries, brass knuckles, that kind of thing. I don't think the brass knuckles are too useful. So if I find anything else that's interesting, I might just drop the brass knuckles. But we do have some heavy rounds, which are for World War II era AKs, and the SKS rifle, which is essentially the best rifle you can find in areas that aren't completely militarized. And what's in here? This is usually the weapon stash for the cops. This is a police station, if you haven't found it out yet. Nothing. Great. But I did find some ammo, so that's great. The zombies here are extremely tough. Your crowbar is not going to cut it. It used to, but things got patched. Things got changed. For the better, by the way. I like the new changes, but... Okay, I want to get my hands on this compass, but I can't because the interface is a bit screwy. Take my compass into my hands. Okay. I'm going to have to make some room for it, so say goodbye to the brass knuckles. Yeah. Perfect. I have this improvised knife with me to cut open cans if I find them. This compass will unfailingly point north, so that's good. So I'm just hoping to get some good food before I set out to the prison island, which probably is full of food as well, and guns. And guns. One of the main threats in this game is obviously other players, other people who, for lack of anything better to do, this is how my rant from earlier ties into this, who obviously don't have anything better to do, so they just survive, and when they see other people, they can go on the hunt for other people, they can snipe. Now, I have been thinking of doing that, yes, but I have also been thinking of something else, being what's described as a hero. Now, that concept has gone basically extinct. But back in the early days, when this game was being developed and was just a mod for another game, that being Arma 2, a hero was someone who helped other players. Helped new players and injured players and anyone who wasn't an antagonist. Just hung out with them and had fun. Now, there's a lot of people who... Sorry, I thought I heard something. I might have heard. I'm going to go move. There's quite a few people in this world, this game, who wouldn't hurt a fly. But there's also a lot of people, and I do think there's more of them, who, as soon as they have a gun, their eyes go red, and they start getting paranoid and a bit homicidal. So the only way to outdo that, and to not end up in a kill or be killed situation in that kind of, when that sort of thing happens, is to be more perceptive than them, first of all, to notice them before they notice you and open fire. To not be threatening, which is, of course, leaves you open to getting shot. And beyond that, being, you know, diplomatic, nice, and not yourself giving into the temptation of becoming a murderous asshole out of paranoia, or perhaps just, you know, plum hatred. I don't know. That's a hospital. I might have a look. That's a hangar, which sometimes has some pretty good loot in it, and I don't have a backpack yet, so I'm just gonna have a look at there. The backpack is basically one of the most common, most useful things you can get, because you can store a lot of stuff in your backpack, which means you don't have to scrounge anymore. I have a very limited inventory right now, and if I get a backpack, that means, well, first off, it means I can stash a lot more of my stuff, and also, if I get hit, my armor rating's higher, and my stuff won't be destroyed. A bit of an inside piece of information, I got all of this from Wobo, which is a YouTube channel, which is essentially dedicated to analyzing survival games, which is awesome, by the way. If you have items in your inventory when you get shot, you take a little bit more damage. Also, your items could get, you know, destroyed when you get shot. Now, okay, I'm wearing a bike helmet right now, which is pretty protective, but it can't be painted. And this is a ballistic helmet by the UN, blue helmet. You know, one of the blue helmets. I might spray paint this green. I say kijk. This is Dutch for look. I'm not a I'm not a horrific racist. If there are any Jews in the audience, I'm terribly sorry. I did not mean to make an American. Was it American? I don't know where the first word came from. Whatever. My point here is, I don't want to seem like a threat. But then again, I don't want to expose myself too much, because getting shot down by a paranoid lunatic, okay, that's very noble. That's not fun. I do want guns for myself. I do want to have power in this game. So, you know, if I want to, you know, save some innocent idiot from bandits, I need a gun. Hell, if I even want to compete, if I want to defend myself against a threat, I need a gun. So, yeah, I want a gun, and I want to be able to camouflage myself. But blue helmets are, at least in the real world, an international symbol of a UN soldier who works under certain conventions. Then again, I don't know those conventions, so it might be more practical for me to paint this helmet green and call it a day. Now, I'm not sure, but I think there was a fire station in this town somewhere more to the... No, I'm going north now. That's not going to work. There's a... Is that a hospital? Yes, that's the hospital where I was at earlier, and then I can go further ahead into the fire station. Now, ooh, that's a zombie. Zombies, for all their tough-as-nailsness, are not much of a threat right now, because if you do as I do, and you crouch and you sneak, they can't see you, not really. And if you are in trouble, the best thing you can do is just run like hell until they lose track of you. Okay, this is a knife. Yeah, the next thing that's going to get trashed from my inventory is the bayonet, because it's not, as I said, it's not useful in any way at all. Also, in about a week, or maybe 2 weeks, they haven't announced that yet, my character is going to get deleted, and we're going to start all anew. And if I'm ever going to make a DayZ tutorial, it will be then, or well, maybe sometime after that. But I'm thinking about it at any rate. I can like go up there, but there's no real point. Every once in a while, there's guns up here, but you do make one hell of a target of yourself. Then again, on the gripping hand, which is this is a quote from an old novel. The novel's called The Mote in God's Eye, which is from the 70s, I guess. But on the gripping hand, which means on the stronger, there's 3 hands. One hand, the other hand, and the gripping hand. On the stronger hand, I might actually see guns, and I might show you the city I'm in, the biggest city in the game right now. I just came walking in, like, yesterday. Heard a lot of gunfire, though. But yeah. This is the majority of Chernogorsk, the biggest city in the game. It's very expensive. It has a hospital. It has, what is it? It has a hospital. Where is it? There it is. It has the hospital. It has a police station behind there. It has a a big dock, which not much in there, but you know, it's huge. And right now I'm a giant sitting duck. I can't look down the chimney, but apparently Santa's in there. Did Santa? At least maybe in the mod, I don't know, but that's what someone at some point did. Okay, but I think we're going to talk a bit about the Molten God's Eye, or what I remember about the summary page. While I go walk down, and I think we're going to go to the hospital and then slide down there, because I think across that road is the, yeah, you can just barely see it. I'm going to zoom into first person for a sec. That's the fire station right there. And if there's any one place which is absolutely awesome, it's the fire station. Hell, there's only one military base which has a fire station, and well, fire stations have the best melee weapon in the game, the fire axe, which is also great for, you know, chopping wood. And it can also be painted green. And they also have a decent chance of spawning pistols, and the all-important, what's it called again? Storage container, which is a like a med kit, in which it only takes up 4 slots of your inventory, but it can hold 6 things. Now med kits can only, as you just saw when I tried to squeeze my my heat pack in there, can only hold medical items. That's fair. But storage containers, they're tough, and they can only hold normal items. They still increase the damage you take, but only by a small amount compared to 4 small items. So yeah, they're very, very useful. They also increase the amount you can carry, obviously. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end the episode here and start a new one up right after this. Just, you know, for efficiency's sake. If you've seen enough, you've seen enough. I hope you do come back, though, because I'm having fun. And we can talk about the Molten God's Eye, which was apparently a pretty good novel.